How much do you know about climate change? Have you spent the time to identify how this phenomenon will affect your livelihood? Well, the JIS is giving you a head start on how you can prepare to combat the effects of climate change in strategic priority number 6, environmental and climate change resilience, and through a success story from Glengoff's Climate Action Project. Later, tips on maintaining a healthy heart as we continue to highlight the importance of a holistic approach to health. Good day, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to this episode of Jamaica Magazine. Stay tuned, we have more after the news.
There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chizom and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 11. There will be no increase to property tax rates in the next fiscal year. In a statement to Parliament on Tuesday, Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips said instead the focus would be on improving collections.
In this regard, a bill entitled the Property Tax Act Amendments will be coming to Parliament in the next parliamentary year to give the fiscal authorities the power to introduce specific compliance measures that we would expect should result in an increase in the property tax compliance rate.
For the 2013-2014 fiscal year, the property tax collection rate was 80%, and the rate for this fiscal year is projected at 75%. Portmore had the highest collection rate of 98.4%, while St. Elizabeth had the lowest collection rate of 64%. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has expressed confidence that Jamaica is on track to meet its 7th straight successful IMF performance review. She was addressing members of the diplomatic corps on Tuesday.
We are encouraged to have achieved economic growth of 1.8% between the middle of 2013 and the same period in 2014. We recognize, however, that we will need greater levels of growth and jobs to secure the economic gains that our people need.
To achieve that, the Prime Minister says her administration will be executing some priority plans this year.
As we move forward, my government will continue the commitment to our economic reform program, redouble our efforts to create jobs, encourage higher levels of growth and investment, and continue to improve our physical and social infrastructure.
The Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA says farmers affected by the drought in 2014 have been able to bounce back as a result of a $50 million mitigation program. RADA's Chief Executive Officer Lenworth Fulton says the money was used to institute rainwater harvesting methods and help farmers with seedlings and land preparation. He says the program helped the farmers maintain a steady supply of produce during the past Christmas period. Government has set aside $45 million more to continue the program in the new fiscal year.
The government has promised to make that available to continue the drought assistance and the mitigation that is needed for the year 2015-2016. We eagerly await that to continue the program of rehabilitation to our farmers.
Mr. Fulton gave the update at a JIS think tank session on Tuesday. He also encouraged the farmers to be climate smart by studying the changes in the weather and plan accordingly. Jamaica has extended its sympathies to countries affected by terrorism and is standing in solidarity with those nations. The commitment was made by Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Senator A.J. Nicholson as he addressed members of the diplomatic corps on Tuesday.
Jamaica rejects and condemns terrorism in all forms and continues to support regional and international efforts to combat this scourge.
In 2014, there were several acts of terrorism in Syria, Nigeria, and Ukraine, with recent attacks in France in 2015. The Justice Ministry is to launch the Montego Bay Restorative Justice Center next week. Acting Director of the Restorative Justice Unit, Justice Roydon Hall, says the newest center will be launched on February 17 at 49 Union Street in Overton Plaza in downtown Montego Bay. It's one of several activities taking place this month to increase awareness of the benefits of restorative justice.
On the 27th of February, we'll be having our 6th International Conference in Restorative Justice, where Mr. Ted Wachtel would be our keynote speaker with Professor Jermaine McAlpin from the University of the West Indies. We will all be sharing in this information space.
Where's that again?
And this will be held at the Knutsford Court Hotel.
And finally, the installation of energy-saving streetlights along Montego Bay's elegant corridor is going well, and the project should be completed by mid-year. It's being financed by the Tourism Enhancement Fund at a cost of $248 million. The project involves the installation of LED lamps along a section of the North Coast Highway from the Sangster International Airport roundabout to the Iberia Star Hotel at Lilliput.
At present, trenches are currently being dug, the cables are being laid, and the base pillar for the light poles are being installed in the medians of the roadway from Sea Castles to Sugar Mill. Work will begin shortly on the eastern side of the thoroughfare from Sea Castles to Lilliput.
The tourism minister was addressing a special Jamaica House briefing in Montego Bay recently. He said the lights were being installed in segments over an 8-month period. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
Important precautionary measures to prevent the introduction of Ebola to Jamaica. A travel ban is now in effect against persons entering the island directly or indirectly from 3 West African countries struggling with the Ebola outbreak: Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone.
The Ebola incubation period is up to 21 days, 3 weeks. You could essentially have left anywhere, entered the country, and be well for a week or so before you become ill.
Stay alert, stay safe, avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Persons must honestly disclose their travel history at all ports of entry. While traveling, report to authorities if you or any traveler have Ebola symptoms or is believed to have been exposed to infected items or persons. Also, do not touch dead bodies and make intimate contact with persons who may be infected or who could have been in contact with an infected person. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's Emergency Operations Center at 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683. A message from the Ministry of Health.
The government's efforts in tackling the effects of climate change and implementing effective adaptation programs have been boosted through a partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank. In strategic priority number 6, environmental and climate change resilience, we look at how this initiative will influence both an individual and collective response.
Environmental and climate change resilience, a strategic priority of government in this financial year, implementing programs to protect the natural environment while encouraging everyone to adjust their lifestyles to deal with extended changes in weather patterns, or simply put, climate change. Why?
No sector can be considered safe, as all sectors are at risk from climate change.
And so government continues to work on a number of programs to boost Jamaica's resilience to climate change. One such initiative is the Adaptation Program and Financing Mechanism for the Pilot Program for Climate Change Resilience, PPCR, a 5-year program being implemented by the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change and coordinated by the Planning Institute of Jamaica. In July 2011, the government of Jamaica and the Inter-American Development Bank IDB entered into a partnership to implement Phase 1 of the PPCR. Jamaica was then able to prepare different documentation to set the groundwork for the country's response to climate change, like the 2012 State of the Climate Report.
We are faced with the need to undertake major adjustments which are costly.
So in February 2015, the government again joined forces with the IDB to implement Phase 2 of the PPCR. The finance minister and IDB country representative to Jamaica signed an agreement that led to Jamaica receiving approximately $18 million from the IDB. $10 million was in the form of a loan, while approximately $7.9 million came in the form of a grant. The government of Jamaica also contributed about $2 million to the project, bringing total funding of the PPCR to approximately $20 million.
The purpose of the program overall is to mainstream climate change into development planning, provide information on new approaches to be pursued, including climate financing, to overcome the challenges of climate change, and disseminating the lessons learned.
Climate change considerations will also be incorporated into a number of priority sectors like health, agriculture, and tourism. In essence, all sectors will have to think about climate change in executing their duties. For example, farmers have to consider drought, which is sometimes due to climate change when planting their crops.
We cannot continue to rely primarily on rain-fed agriculture in order to feed ourselves and other things.
Therefore, under Phase 2 of the PPCR, an extensive program which includes rainwater harvesting is scheduled to begin in the Rio Minna watershed in Clarendon.
Farmers, women in particular, to do some reforestation, but also to develop water harvesting mechanisms so that what was experienced in the last few years over the drought in Jamaica, we can mitigate some of the impact of a more devastating situation. As we know, climate change is real, and every year the effects seem to be more and more devastating.
Farmers will also be introduced to a technique called aquaponics.
You have water that is used, in the fish ponds. And when that water becomes fertilized by the droppings of the fish, it is then pumped into beds where vegetables are grown, and this, call it fertilized water, provide nutrients for the plants and the vegetables. And by the time the water percolates through the soil material, it would have extracted some of the ingredients that would normally make the water less conducive for the fish's survival. In other words, purifying the water to some extent, taking out the extra nitrates from the fish droppings, and then that water will be circulated back to the fish pond. And we are hoping that that will be one mechanism where we can help households to produce food crops with minimal amounts of water, using minimal space, but at the same time doing it in such a way that will enable us to survive even under conditions where we have very low levels of rainfall.
The PPCR will also create financing mechanisms to assist small businesses in making adjustments to fit the realities of climate change. The government of Jamaica, partnering with the IDB to implement Phase 2 of the Adaptation Program and Financing Mechanism for the Pilot Program for Climate Change Resilience PPCR. Another initiative aimed at achieving Strategic Priority Number 6, Environmental and Climate Change Resilience.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go, Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
As we turn the pages, we look at how a communal approach in Glengoff bore fruit for their climate change adaptation program.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask, what can you do for your country? As timely today as the day it was originally spoken, as relevant in this country as the land of its origin. They are words by which the people of one rural Jamaican community are living. The community of Glengoff, located in St. Catherine, is vulnerable to several environmental challenges. Ironically, what many see as a major asset in this area is often cause for destruction. The community's soil is predominantly sandy loam, a type of earth mixed with sand, silt, and clay that's preferred for planting crops due to its high nutritional content. But when it rains, the soil pours, and Glengoff has had to struggle with the effects.
We lost over 40 acres of surface soil in Glengoff. When rains fall heavily, this is what happens. And when there's drought, it is there for a very long period.
I own the property I'm now on is 3 acres. And I have land slippage in about 5 different areas.
Where the water run, those places was to washed away. It will take all like the fruit trees them were there before, like the breadfruit trees, the cocoa trees, all those trees would go away.
To further prevent loss, the community took action.
We sought to see how we could control some of these conditions. Therefore, we went searching for remedies, and we went on the website and we found the UNDP project on climate change. And then we wrote a proposal to them, asking them for assistance, and they gave us this project.
The project, Glengoff Climate Change Adaptation Program, began in April 2010. The main target is to reduce the risks of landslides and flooding from heavy rain and lessen the effects of extreme drought conditions on crop production. With the project, the community also seeks to minimize unemployment.
We want to get the young men from off the walls, get them out of the gambling shops where they can be gainfully employed, because many of them have lands. Their parents have lands and the lands are idle.
The Global Environmental Facility has funded the project to the tune of $42,000, and the United Nations Development Program is the implementing organization. Glengoff didn't stop there. They have solicited and received assistance from a number of government agencies. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, gives technical support on land preservation and agricultural marketing. The Social Development Commission has chipped in with the tools. Since April 2010, 11,000 pineapple suckers have been planted, 2,500 fruit trees, and 2,000 lumber trees. The community is planting the crops as the main form of soil preservation. And so far, the success is coming to light.
If you look at the river, right, especially up here, you'll find that it's a bit not as muddy as it used to be, have that khaki look that you see down the bottom. You see the river that is on the bottom, that khaki looking thing, it is because of the soil eroding into the water. Up this section, because we are putting those interventions and things, it is not as bad if you look at the river there. So it is visible then.
For community activism and shared volunteerism, Glengoff is a multiple winner of the SDC-sponsored Best Community Competition. Remember to be the change.
God knows how much I've tried, the truth I cannot hide, to keep you satisfied. A true love I now exist is the love I can't resist, so jam by my side. Ooh, yeah.
Whatever your goals are, it is important to create the right environment to ensure sustainable success. Your environment, all the facets of your life that impact your ability to achieve and sustain your goals and to live the life you deserve and desire, is built around 4 core areas: movement, nourishment, recovery, and belief. Here are a few tips that can help you make positive improvements in your environment and make your goals a reality. Move. Train and condition your body for life by performing at your optimal, not too intensely and not too lightly. This attitude will challenge you, but not so much that you can't sustain the effort. For your nourishment, try to keep it local and real. Your body can easily break down unprocessed foods which properly fuel you for the demands of life. It is also important that you schedule time for relaxation each day and that you go to bed at the designated time. These practices will give you the space needed to recover from your daily demands. Your beliefs clearly determine your success. You need to act in harmony with your values, which in turn will build confidence. Encouraging others to also reach for their goals will also fuel your beliefs. Movement, nourishment, recovery, and belief will create the environment needed to excel.
Event promoters, show producers, it's gonna be a Jamrock summer. Is your event being staged between May 15 and August 15 this year? Then submit your event for inclusion in the Jamrock Summer 90 Days, 90 Ways promotional program. The event must include film, dance, fashion, food, literary arts, or other entertainment activities. There are several benefits to being part of the Jamrock Summer, such as local and international marketing support. Submissions must be made to the Tourism and Entertainment Ministry by Friday, February 13. For more details, call 920-4926-30 or send an email to entertainment@mot.gov.jm.
In the same way that we seek to minimize the effect our daily activities have on Earth's ecological system, we need to ensure that our activities also promote optimal internal health. We'll learn more in this, our next feature.
The heart, one of the most important organs in our body, pumping blood and carrying vital material helpful to our body's function. It also removes waste products that we do not need. From the moment it begins beating until the moment it stops, the human heart works tirelessly without ever pausing to rest. So we must take proper care of it. How? It's simple. We must control the risk factors that could lead to coronary artery diseases, one of which is being overweight or obese.
When you're obese or overweight, you increase your blood volume. When you increase your blood volume, it's more work for the heart. This heart has to do work over a long period of time, more work, till he gets sluggish, he gets tired. So this can lead to congestive heart failure.
Besides contributing to heart diseases, obesity also adds to the risk factors for other health problems.
If you're obese, your chances of getting hypertension are 75%, and that's high blood pressure, one of the main risk factors of heart disease. Again, it harms your heart, it overworks it. That's hypertension. Diabetes, you're now at risk for diabetes. And of course, high cholesterol, which is the fat in the blood.
Our body needs energy to function and to be active. But if you take in more energy than your body uses, you will gain weight.
54% of Jamaica is overweight and obese. Between the ages of 17 and 74, a study was done in our Jamaican lifestyle survey. 64% of these are women.
If you are considered obese, it means that your weight is too much for your height. But how do we know that we are so overweight?
Overweight and obesity is determined by using height and weight, or waist circumference, or body fat. Abdominal fat is more harmful than fat around the bottom, hips, or thighs. At your belly button, Your waistline circumference is at 43 inches. A normal waist circumference for a woman to reduce her risk of heart disease and other diseases like your hypertension needs to be at 35 inches.
Dietitians say obesity and overweight can be reversed if you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Once this becomes a way of life, the success of weight loss is guaranteed. For further information on how to maintain a healthy weight, contact the Heart Foundation of Jamaica at 28 Beechwood Avenue, Kingston 5, telephone 926-4378.
Employers, tired of waiting in long lines at the tax office? Wait no further. Government is making it easier for you to pay taxes. As of January 1, 2015, file your employer's annual returns online. No lines, no hassle. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ will be implementing the mandatory electronic filing of all employers' annual returns. So get with the program and save time and energy. For more information, call 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357 or visit jamaicatax.gov.jm.
Continue to stay in touch with the JIS through our Twitter and Facebook pages, YouTube channel and website at www.jis.gov.jm. Also, for your convenience, you can download the JIS News app from the Google Play Store. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the hardworking production team here at the JIS, take action every day to make your dreams real.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.